Hey, this is David Bailey from Bond, and we're a ministry that equips churches and organizations with the tools and resources for the ministry of reconciliation with cultural intelligence. And we've been in a 5-part series called 5 Christian Practices for Leading in Divided Times. Practice number 1 was broaden your vision for the kingdom of God. Practice number 2 was pray in proximity. And we're on practice number 3, shepherd people from diverse experiences. You know, Jesus used his disciples to change and transform the world. I want to point out 3 particular things about his disciples that could help us in these times. Number 1, Jesus' disciples, they were unexpected. People that were expecting the Messiah were not expecting the Messiah to choose the type of people that Jesus chose as his disciples. Number 2, Jesus chose disciples from diverse experiences and perspectives. Do you realize that Jesus had a tax collector as one of his disciples, somebody who was a part of the establishment? And Jesus had a zealot who was a part of his discipleship group. It was an anti-establishment group. This group was considered radicals, and yet Jesus brought them in to be part of his disciples. And number 3, the disciples were imperfect people. Even after being with Jesus for 3 years, at times, the disciples were still engaged in some foolish and imperfect activities. You know, as we endeavor to be bridge builders and reconcilers in divided times, we should, number 1, expect the unexpected. Jesus doesn't always work the way that we expect him to work. And number 2, we need to realize that we need people from diverse perspectives and diverse experiences for the kingdom of God. You know, I had a counselor tell me one time, David, you have experiences and perspectives that informs your little t truth. And that other person has their experience and their perspectives that inform their little t truth. The reality is that the big T truth is somewhere in the middle. And you know what? This is true amongst a diverse group of people who follow Jesus today. And this is why number 3 is so important. We should extend grace to people because there was one person who was perfect, and that is Jesus. Yet Jesus used imperfect people to accomplish his purposes. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a big step of faith. I want you to look at your list from practices number 1 and 2, and I want you to do a face-to-face meeting with a person from that group that you're on the opposite perspective of. I want you to ask them, what are some experiences that has shaped you to have the kind of perspective that you have? I want you to listen to their story. If there is something that you don't understand and that you don't agree with, don't ask a why question. Like, why would you think that way? Ask a what question. Ask, what does that mean, or what has caused you to think that way? And if there is room for you to share your story, I want you to share your experiences that have shaped your perspective. Seek to understand before you seek to be understood. We need to diversify our friendship groups and our discipleship groups to have a diverse experience and diverse perspectives like Jesus did. Now, I want you to stay tuned to our 4th practice, the practice of lament.